Did y'all hit that like button? All right, let's get it. All right, so today, man, we are talking about protecting your testosterone, the men's guide to staying strong after 30, right? And I've said this before, man, testosterone is our superpower. It's what makes us a man. It's what makes us go out to accomplish things. Um, and testosterone matters in our everyday life because mainly it drives muscle growth. So if you have low testosterone levels and you're working out, it's going to be very hard for you to build muscle because that is the main production of how muscle even grows. So low T levels means low muscle growth. On top of that, it's easier to lose fat when you have a high testosterone. It's easier to have a lot of energy, your confidence, and your the main thing is your sex drive, right? Your sex drive is through the roof when you have high testosterone. And it should be that way for every man, but every man isn't going to have that same drive, mainly because of their lifestyle. Now, this is critical mainly when we hit the age of 30, right? So let's just do a quick breakdown here. So, men today have 20 to 30% lower testosterone levels compared to men in the 1980s. So if you're not actively trying to protect your testosterone levels, if you're not actively trying to protect your testosterone levels, modern lifestyle, modern American diets will destroy it, right? So why let's just go back to why do we think that our testosterone levels are lower now compared to men in the 1980s? Well, we have so much to blame for that. We have so many things that we can pinpoint to that. One is our diet. The food is not the same as it was in the 80s. So if you look at the obesity numbers back in the 80s compared to now, it's drastically different. I think we're about 60% higher in obesity than we were in the 1980s or 60s even. Um, we have just life being easier, right? You have more people working from home now. So guess what? When you're at home, you're in the comfort of your own home, you tend to eat more. We have the invention of smartphones and technology. You can DoorDash, you can Uber Eats. Food can be at your doorstep in less than 30 minutes. You know, we stop walking everywhere. We have a culture now where they promote being obese. These are all things that destroy your testosterone. You know, we have this soft life culture with men now, which is crazy to me. We got men painting their fingernails, we got men wearing skirts and high heels and shit out here. So the essence of masculinity really is declining in the US. So that is another reason why our testosterone is dropping at such a massive rapid rate. But if we're looking just from overall lifestyle, if we're looking from overall lifestyle, the silent killers of testosterone is poor sleep. So if you're not getting more than 6 hours a night, well, you can drop your testosterone by 10 to 15%. Excessive body fat, again, that comes from the dieting, not prioritizing protein. Belly fat converts to Belly fat can convert testosterone into estrogen, which is the female hormone, right? Of testosterone. Alcohol and junk food, talked about that already. Your cortisol level spikes, which is going to decrease your testosterone over time. Being sedentary, not being active, not going to the gym, not lifting heavy weights. These are all things that your body needs to maintain a certain level of testosterone. And if you don't do that, well, kiss it goodbye. And then on top of that is chronic stress. I get it. We're in an age right now where everything's expensive. Inflation is kicking everybody's asses. I get that part. Rent is high. Just overall life is hard. It's harder than it used to be. Everybody's in debt. We have things to pay for. So just financially, from a financial economic standpoint, it's stressful. And when people are stressed, they tend to go towards different directions. Some eat, some do drugs, some drink, some decide to just be lazier and not take care of themselves. And again, when you have all these things at your disposal, you're raising your cortisol levels, which is going to impact your testosterone over time. So, man, the best thing you can do is just do what you can to preserve and maintain a healthy lifestyle. You know, strength train 2, 3 times a week. Make sure you're lifting heavy weights. Make sure you guys are prioritizing protein, macronutrients, you know, count your calories if you can. Sleeping 7 to 9 hours a day if you can. Some people, they might sleep, a little less than that, but if you can get at least 6 at the minimum, 6 should be at the minimum, you know. That is a good number, and then you go from there. Uh Cutting out processed foods. Another thing, man. You know, processed foods, alcohol, junk food, this all turns into fat, which is going to drop your testosterone. So if you can avoid or at least cut back on these things, then you have a great shot of maintaining a high testosterone level after 30 going into 40s and 50s. Because one thing they always say is, oh, once you hit 30, your testosterone drops 1% every year. That's false. That's only if you're inactive. That's only if you stop working out. That's only if you stop doing things to preserve your testosterone, right? So I'm 30 years old. I got more testosterone than probably the average 20-year-old right now. And they should have the highest testosterone because they're at the age when they're at their testosterone peak, right? They have the highest levels. But again, this we live in a world now where this they make that impossible to maintain. So yeah, man. And I think one of the things that a lot of guys think they can do is take shortcuts. I've seen guys try to take shortcuts, you know, relying on supplements. Like, stop relying on supplements to maintain your testosterone. I see guys saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go take zinc and ashwagandha and all this other stuff," but it's not going to make up for the bad habits that you have, right? If you're not sleeping for more than 6 hours a night, then taking ashwagandha isn't going to help. If you're not working out 2 or 3 times a week, strength training, ashwagandha and zinc is not going to help. You know, so you guys are skipping over the main components of keeping your testosterone at a high level, which is just a proper lifestyle: food, active, being active, and sleep. Those are the three components, you know. And then, you guys, hey, I'll just take steroids. I'll take TRT, you know, another shortcut. Yes, TRT can help, but guess what? If you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not doing the three main components, TRT isn't going to help you. It's not. And one thing that they don't tell you about TRT is that TRT is really only for people with clinical low testosterone. So they might have a condition that allows their testosterone to be super low, where they might get a doctor's note to hop on TRT to raise it up. But even then, their doctor is going to prescribe them or tell them, hey, even though you're on TRT, you still need to maintain a healthy lifestyle. So you can't eat what you want. You still have to move your body and exercise 3 times a week at the minimum. And you still need to maintain a proper sleeping schedule. So if you're not doing those three things, taking PEDs, taking TRT is not going to save you. And another thing they don't tell you about TRT is that TRT, if you take it in a high dosage, it will cut off your natural testosterone production. So, meaning now you have to be on TRT for the rest of your life. Because once you take TRT, that's it. Your natural testosterone production is done. Especially if you're taking it at a high dosage. If you're taking more than you need to, well, just kiss goodbye your natural testosterone production. So now you got to be on there for the rest of your life. And the moment you stop taking TRT, that's it. It's gonna instantly hit you. You know. So the main thing here, man, is really just take care of the basics. After 40, take care of the basics. Everything else is gonna work itself out. If you guys continue to just take care of the foundation, which is exercise, sleep, and movement, well, you can maintain a high testosterone throughout your 30s, 40s, and 50s and 60s. Like TRT and zinc and ashwagandha, these should only be additions, right? You really shouldn't be taking TRT unless you're competing or it's for a certain special condition. But the supplements, those should be just an addition. It shouldn't be the main, solution.